But my God, these Timberwolves are a colossal disappointment so far.
Yeah.
And you know what? I already have never been able to stand Rudy Gobert, and now I watch it, and I'm like, I need you to be good.
Do
Where
something.
are the nerds now?
Do something.
Where are the nerds? Where are they?
Well, see, Rudy Gobert, finally, he showed you. What you don't understand is rim protection. And
Like, every year, a guy that's won 55 Defensive Players of the Year has been rendered totally ineffective.
Yep.
It's just a matter of at what point. At what point does it happen? What point did it happen to the Jazz? And now at what point does it happen to the Timberwolves? And the answer is the Western Conference Finals 2 years in a row. And you know, and this has been, look, this does affect us in a way, in the sense that, you know, we have the big lug center as well. I just hate drop coverage. I just do. I hate it. And I think that once you get to the highest level, like, you know, it got to the point where the Bucks, like, they're having to play Bobby Portis instead of Brook Lopez when they're playing against the Suns, right? Like, I mean, like, there's always going to come a time where you're playing a team good enough to where it's like, bro, you can't play this way.
Yeah.
You can't play this way where it's like, my guy, because I'll go 5 out on you, or in their case, I'll just make 10-footer after 10-footer after 10-footer after 10-footer.
That zone, they saw that zone so much against the Nuggets, I think, that they figured out how to break it, because they're flashing Caruso to the front throw line. If you step up, I'll drop. If you stay back, I'm gonna just flip.
You got Chet, you got the push shot for Hartenstein. Like, I mean, it's and Jalen Williams is unbelievable. So here's the deal. I went on the mismatch last night because we recorded right after the show, and I said I started the show. I said I'm gonna surprise you, Jacoby. Honestly, I think that was. I know that everybody's in love with the Thunder and their opportunities to win. I think that might have been the most impressed I have been, and here's why.
Same here.
You think?
Yeah,
okay,
I feel the same way.
Here's why. If you're Minnesota, theoretically you've made your adjustments, right? Here's what went wrong for us in game one. We shot 51 threes. We didn't make shots. Some of those shots, those open ones, are going to drop, and here's what we can do defensively different to be able to prepare for this. Here's what we can do offensively different to prepare for this. And so maybe you're not going to win the game in Oklahoma City, but you are going to compete at a much higher level than you did, right? Like the losing team, especially when you lose by 24 or 26 or whatever the hell they lost by in the first. I mean, they got run out in the first game. So if you get run out in the first game, I mean, we've seen this over the history of the NBA, right? You get run out in the first game, then the second game ends up becoming a war.
Yeah.
Because it's like one team, they're looking at their film and they're going, you know what? Guys, we got to keep doing what we do and blah, blah, blah. And the other team's going, no, this is our problem, this is our problem, this is our problem. Now we're going to address said problems for game two. Now, and then by the time you get to game three, now both teams have kind of felt each other out, and now, like, this is the yin and yang. This is how series go, right? They're usually a roller coaster. But the fact that they mangled them again, and it was worse this time. I don't care what the final margin was.
It was bad.
Because
it was bad.
You're theoretically making your adjustment. This is why it was worse. In game one, I think you could probably, if you're Minnesota, and I view this through the prism of the games that we've watched for so many years, right? If you're game one, you're sitting there and you're going, bro, we took 51 threes. We got no points in the paint. We turned the ball over way too much. And Naw and Dante and Naj Reid and these guys, Jaden fouled out and was in foul trouble, like even by the third quarter, and only got to play 20-something minutes. And Ant only took 13 shots, and like there's a bunch of things that you could say. Here's where this went awry, and here's our problems, bro. It's like they had the idea of like, all right, here obviously Ant's going to be more aggressive. Here's what we're going to do with this. Here's what we're going to do with that. And played decently well in the first half until the catastrophic end of the first half, which was a step back SGA 3 and then a ridiculous Dante DiVincenzo foul, a screen, which he has been useless, like totally useless in this. Okay, and it was a foul. That was so. Now the numbers on 3. It went to 8 within the last 30 seconds of the whatever. It's like, dude, what are you doing?
And now you walk into the locker room with your head down because, like, we just had this.
It's not a 1-possession game. It's a 3-possession game now.
You make a small mistake and they make you pay for it.
Right. And so then by the second half, this is why I say it was the most impressive to me, because one team's got their backs against the wall. They got to win. Look, we talk about this all the time, and I know there is this trope of series doesn't start until somebody wins on the road, whatever, right? Or in the end, this is different. If you lose this game, you've got to beat a team that just won 68 games 4 out of 5 times. You have no chance of doing that. You're not beating them 4 out of 5. You might be able to go 3-2, right? Yeah. You might be able to go 3-2. But the only way you can go 3-2 is if you put yourself at 1-1. You're not going 4-1 against that team. Okay, I'm sorry.
78-17 on the season, and 60 of those wins are by double digits. 60 of those 78 wins are by double digits, bro.
Okay, so
come on.
Your back's against the wall, and then here's the thing. They imploded. Every one of them. That's why, to me, that was the most impressive one, because they absolutely broke them. You saw it. They broke the coach, who abandoned their second best player, who abandoned their center, who abandoned their seventh man and DiVincenzo. These guys are sitting on the bench with towels on their head. Yeah. Edwards is going crazy.
My boy Jamie Daniels just said, F it, bro. I'm tired of this dude. I'm tired of this dude cooking me, bro, and push him in the back.
2-hand pushes him.
I'm like, I felt that, but you got to chill.
And so you have all those guys that get broken. It felt like they broke them mentally last night. Yeah. And then Ant, who is the face of the franchise, walks out instead of doing media.
Yeah.
No, they were that.
I mean, it's like all the frustration. Because one team just keeps on plugging away, keeps on playing, and you see the other team they are so inside their own head by the time they're getting run out on. Yeah. You can see it.
You can see the doubt. You can see the self-doubt.
In real time, when they go on that little spurts, those 7-0 spurts, or 6-0 spurts, you can see oh shit.
And they just keep their head down and keep on playing. And the other thing is, and we've talked about this a lot through the prism of the Grizzlies, how do you get it so that John Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Desmond Bain can be simultaneously awesome? How? How does that happen? That's what you need.
That's what I was worried about with Randall, bro. I said this before the West Conference Finals happened. He was feasting on small front courts, bro.
And then
now he's playing big people and he can't score. Look like Angel Reese out there.
Well, and then, hey, how about this?
Throwing that off the backboard. Come on, man. Like Angel Reese, bro.
And then he has that miserable, drops his shoulder in on a charge. Yeah. And then he's running down the court smiling. They're down by 16. Yeah. I'm like, get out.
You and that terrible haircut. Go sit down somewhere.
Get out of here. Right. So you brought up on the other side, Ant was 12 for 26 is not great, but he's gaining the attention. And the other thing is, Ant didn't turn the ball over one time, I don't think, last night. He had 0 turnovers in the game, which is exactly what you need. He needs somebody to come along and ride for him. You flip that when I said, Morant, Bain, Jaren, and we've talked about that ad nauseum, right? How can you get your 3 best players to be effective at the same time? Last night was like the best of with Gilgeous-Alexander, Williams, and Chet. All 3 of them were so this is what I say. That's why I say it was the most impressive one. You got all 3 of your best guys cracking. One was 1A, MVP, and he's MVP level. Just cooking them.
Looking like Kobe out there.
But then Jalen Williams was an amazing number 2. Yeah. Chet Holmgren was an amazing number 3. Yeah. And it's like, bro, you got Who are you stopping? You're not stopping any.
Because if you're the
Not
Timberwolves,
one of them.
the Timberwolves, you're like, you know what? Role players play better at home. Well, shit, the role players didn't have to play.
Right.
The stars were
They're the
hooping.
only three that scored in double figures for Oklahoma City last
And
night.
Dagnall didn't even play his bench.
Yeah.
Look, Aaron Wiggins, which you don't even remember the 9 minutes he played.
Nah.
The other two, he played Kason and he played Caruso, and those are the only two guys that played over 10 minutes outside of his starting five.
Kason
Like he played,
is good.
but he played that thing like a must-win.
Yeah.
That was 7 deep.
Yeah.
Right. He didn't go. Kendrick Williams had a minute, and Isaiah Joe had 3 minutes, and Wiggins I think played 9 minutes. Like
10,
Jalen Williams isn't even playing, and he was like super effective in the Denver series.
Yeah.
He's not even touching the floor for that team.
I hate to say it, but
And then I was listening to something and I was reminded that they had they had a lottery pick they picked last year with a torn ACL
don't
that
forget
didn't
about
even
that.
play
Yeah.
Topich or whatever,
Yeah.
who's supposed to be amazing. I was like, oh my God.
of course.
He didn't even, they picked a guy in the lottery. It was like one of the top European prospects, and he didn't even play this year.
I hate them so much.
And they've
it's
got
like-
so many picks that even when they miss on
Oh
them,
my
it
God.
doesn't matter because like that Ousmane Jing, like dude, he doesn't.
Poku.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
they
it doesn't
can
even
miss
matter.
on these
Doesn't
guys, and it
matter,
doesn't
bro.
matter because they have so many picks.
Bro,
Yeah.
I hate how good they are. I hate how much of a great guy SGA is. I hate it so much. They're showing video of him like signing people's foreheads and like
Did you
I'm
hear
like,
that?
bro, like
Did
be
you-
a bad guy, bro.
Did you hear about the
trying to hate?
Hey, everybody was seeing all that video about the Rolex thing or whatever.
Yeah, his teammates,
He's
yeah.
giving everybody a Rolex or whatever. He also gave them, also in the gift bag, not only did he give them a Rolex, he gave them an iPhone, a Canada Goose jacket, and something else.
A custom joint too. A custom.
All three of them.
Yeah, bro. Stop being a good guy, bro.
They were like, the gift bags were like over 10,000 a piece.
Trying to hate.
Did you see the Mark Dagnall thing?
After the game, we talking
Yeah, they asked him if he got one.
about.
Because he said, I heard Shay, say everybody was a part of this, whatever. And he's like, no, but I didn't get it. I guess everybody,
He left the coach.
I guess
out.
everybody doesn't need a watch or something like that.
No,
Something
there we
like
go. I
that.
can use that then. You didn't even get the coaching bag.
That was really funny.
What
Yeah.
a a-hole.
That was really funny.
Get your
He
coaching
did not. Yeah, he was like, no, I didn't get a Rolex.